Welcome, this is Nathan, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at a new series, and also, scenario I don't think, well, I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody in the mapping community has done. What I meant, well, you mean you saw the title, what I'm mentioning is a zombie outbreak scenario. Now, I know for a fact that, the country ball community has definitely done stuff like this, but I mean, the mapping community, the community that this pro made. I'm not sure if anybody has done a zombie outbreak or a full series on it. There may have been, videos about it, but I don't think anybody's done a full series on it. This is going to be maybe, a 20, 30 episode series, I don't know, it's probably going to be it's not going to be a long series like my Civilization series or my Empire series. It's going to be a series that's going to be able to fill in it's going to be a series that's going to be able to fill in the gaps, because right now we are about halfway through both those series. So where is this zombie outbreak going to break out? Well, we're going to begin in modern day. So, modern day right now, September 2025. Now, the places, when I think of a zombie outbreak breaking out, I think either India or China, because they're the most populated countries, and I feel like that would make the most sense, they're the most populated countries in the world, it would make the most sense for them to have a breakout. I also think to the USA, or to even Europe, maybe Germany or the UK, or even Russia, Africa, South America, Oceania, and I don't think there'd be a zombie outbreak there. But today we actually are going to see the zombie outbreak break out in China. Yes, I know. It makes the most sense. This is where COVID-19 broke out. This is where a lot of the world's nastiest disease came from. So where is it going to break out? Well, it's going to break out in this little area over here, near Beijing. Now, the first recorded case of this is going to be located here. I mean, there's going to be multiple cases around the world. The first located case of this is a man, in his 40s, in this area. He gets sick, and eventually he turns into a zombie, and he unfortunately will turn his family into zombies, and that's going to escalate into, this area being taken over. Now, China's yet to realise, but once this entire area has been taken over, China's kind of realised that we have a zombie apocalypse. So China's going to alarm the world that there's a zombie apocalypse breaking out, and the UN, NATO, and all that is going to freak out. They're kind of damn, the zombie movies actually were correct. Now, if I was being honest, I wouldn't honestly be scared if I wouldn't be scared if I was, North America. Well, I would actually. Airplanes and all that, but this is serious. This isn't COVID-19. This is actually quite serious. This is a zombie apocalypse, and this zombie apocalypse is going to continue to get worse. Because over the next coming weeks, we will see that. Over the next coming weeks, we can see that this zombie apocalypse has now expanded to about this size. And sadly, people in China who have caught the disease before they were just sick, some of them have now left on planes. And one of those planes, with somebody on it, went all the way over to Moscow, Russia. I have no idea what Moscow is. I'm so sorry if I get this wrong. And just like that, Russia is now the second place a breakout is taking place. Once multiple cases are reported in Russia, it's panic, because, somebody just went from China to Russia, that there's now a zombie apocalypse in Russia. So the UN tells China and Russia to shut down all, literally, they tell every country in the world to shut down airlines. The world is basically going to go on a full-on lockdown, and, the world actually has to agree with this, because this is serious. The Chinese the Chinese Navy, Army, and Air Force is now getting ready to fight back these zombies. But it doesn't really help that these zombies are now, well, these zombies have now taken over about this much land. At this point, around, I'd say 100 million people are probably infected in China. Russia's keeping this down. This isn't really moving. Really, the only hope for the world is that China and Russia can take these areas down. But, unfortunately, somebody else has just gone on a flight and has just infected another country. And this time, a person from China flew down to India. And India has been infected. Now, where was this? Well, luckily enough, it was actually down here, and it's a very small area that's been infected. But nonetheless, it's an infection area, and the world is now panicking yet again. There are now 3 recorded cases. There are now 3 areas the zombie apocalypse is broken out in, and they're mostly in Asia, but, China's one is getting kind of big, and Russia's one's getting big. At this point, Europe is all coming together to help Russia take out the zombies. At this point, Europe is coming together to help Russia take out the zombies. This would include countries like France, Italy, Spain, Germany, and the UK. Ukraine refuses to help. That might just be out of spite. But mostly NATO and the UN are doing the best they can to try and make sure that it spreads nowhere else. Unfortunately, though, it is going to spread somewhere else. And this time, it's going to be because of it's going to be because of a... Oh, damn it, I can't think. It's going to be because of a, it's going to happen because of a soldier who got bit during the fighting over here in Moscow. And he didn't tell anybody he got bit. So, nobody can amputate his arm. They couldn't kill him because, he's now on a train back to Poland, which is where he came from. And it's a bit late now because, well, there's an outbreak in Poland. It's a very tiny one, so it's probably going to get stomped. But all the army members that were on that train have been infected. So yes, Europe is now infected with zombies. And sadly, this Moscow one is getting bigger. And when I mean bigger, I mean bigger. Everyone in Russia at this point is being told to evacuate. And sadly, there are now, with the fact that, there are people being infected here, people are now leaving Russia, going in other places, and, I'll just pause the video and do it. These are the areas that are being infected in Russia, because people have been running away from these areas, but they've been infected. And sadly, yep, Russia is starting to fall. Now, how's China looking? Well, this actually hasn't moved. China is holding it down really good. They've evacuated all the civilians in this area. So people have been evacuated, evacuated into, Japan and South Korea and even Vietnam. However, same cannot be said for India, who has been failing to evacuate their civilians, and unfortunately, their little thing has now escalated to, it's escalated from this. It's escalated from this to this. That's a good chunk of India that's been infected. Now, at this point, the UN is telling people to either, if they're in an affected area, to either seek shelter, hide away, always having a weapon on them, or something else. But at this point, Vladimir Putin has just been infected. The president of Russia has been infected. He was unable to flee his country, and he has been infected. Which means that a new president's going to have to be elected in Russia. And Russia's probably been located over to St. Petersburg now. And this new president's elected, and they almost immediately start helping out with NATO, because Vladimir Putin was... He didn't want to leave his goddamn area, so he's been infected. Anyway, unfortunately, this virus is spreading yet again. It's going to be spreading into a new country. And this country is going to be Pakistan. Somebody from this area of India got infected, took a train all the way to Pakistan, who's taken in people as well as India. But this person got infected and sadly infected the entire area down here. So, yeah, this area has been affected. But at this point, it's time to see somebody who's actually about to take action. China has had enough. China will officially be declaring war on the zombies. That sounds stupid, but China has just entered a state of war. They are now going to be invading the zombies and killing off every zombie there is. This is really China's last hope. But these zombies have expanded now. You know, China was holding them down, but they've expanded, and unfortunately, they've doubled the zombies have double the size that they have. Now, China is good at it's doing good. They're keeping it in this one area, but they have lost a lot of land and a lot of population. And at this point, unfortunately, somebody from here who fled into North Korea, don't ask me why, they fled into North Korea, they got infected. And, you know, North Korea, I don't know what North Korea would do in this situation, but yeah, let's just say that this infection in North Korea is gonna get out of hand. Kim Jong-un literally flees his country. He flees into China, not even South Korea, because he would probably get executed there, I'm not even joking. He flees his country, he leaves his people alone, and North Korea is screwed. South Korea and China are quick to respond to this, and they're both very quick to respond to this. They basically declare war on North Korea. This is basically them trying to take over North Korea as fast as they can. So the people here aren't infected, because, you know, Kim Jong-un just abandoned his people. What are you going to do there? So South Korea will send in their troops to try and take over as much. That's so small. South Korea will send in their troops to try and take over as much land as they can. And China will send their troops to save as many people as they can. And they're taking these people in, taking them into safe spots, into, Japan, because it's an island. I never really mentioned, but islands are going to be very safe in this world. The Americas, well, if, somebody infected doesn't get on an airplane, but it's going to be very hard for the Americas to be infected. But unfortunately, let's take a look at how these zombies are doing. Oh, boy, that's not good. So, this entire area of North Korea, you see I've just coloured in, that is infected areas. And what we see happening is China and Korea basically annexing what they own of North Korea. Now, South Korea is going to go back to being neutral because they saved the people. But unfortunately, there is now a zombie outbreak here in North Korea. And China and South Korea are now activating their armies, and Japan's getting involved, and they are now mowing down any zombie that tries to get past. China can't be so focused on this area though, because this is a problem. But for now, these two zombie areas are going to stay limited to this area. But unfortunately, I can't say the same for Russia. Russia is falling apart. And let me show you. This is Russia. Yep. Russia's military as a whole has not been doing a good job of keeping the zombies down. And at this point, NATO is having to get involved. NATO, you remember this thing? Well, it's gone. Yeah, NATO was able to actually do a very good job of this little area. They were able to wipe it out before it could get too big. That is officially the first area that's been wiped out, but there were definitely a few hundred deaths. Well, maybe not 100,000 deaths in that area. But this right here, this is a problem. This is a huge problem. Right now, Russia and China have the worst outbreaks right now. It is bad. They're panicking. Also, why does South Korea still look red? There we go. Anyway, we're gonna come back to Pakistan. They're not doing good either. Sadly, where this outbreak broke out, I didn't even mention. It broke out in Pakistan's most populated city. I don't know what that was. It broke out in Pakistan's most populated city, which, there's not much Pakistan could have done. I think there's a few million people living in Karachi. And that's led to this, which Pakistan is now struggling, because there are about 2 million zombies here. Everyone else is either fled or is hiding. India is holding theirs down pretty good, but sadly it's not. It's started to spread in other places of India. Most importantly, it is spread over here, and, also sadly, it is spread into Sri Lanka, who is screwed. Basically, people who were fleeing this area, somebody was infected and they went into this part of Sri Lanka, and I'm sorry, Sri Lanka is screwed. Sri Lanka is going to be the first country that's going to fall. I will be straight up honest. Actually, no, North Korea. I didn't realise North Korea was the first country that actually fell. Now, the war's still going on. That's something I should probably mention. Our war's still going on. Yes and no. The Russian-Ukrainian war was still going on, but it kind of came to an end when Russia broke out into a zombie apocalypse. The Israel-Palestinian war, that's still going on. And countries that are in civil wars are still in civil wars. So, Sudan, they're still in a civil war. And to be fair, if Africa gets infected, unless it's a northern African country, if any country in Africa gets infected, you may as well call it game over for Africa. Because Africa is so not in a state to deal with zombie apocalypse. Look at Russia. Russia, to be fair, it was kind of Putin's fault that Russia's in the state. But, Africa isn't like China or India. They can't keep this apocalypse down, which is also going to be a reason we're going to see here, where Sri Lanka is going to be the first country to completely fall to the zombie apocalypse. The UN evacuated everyone off this island because they knew that Sri Lanka wouldn't be able to hold out. And we can see here that Sri Lanka has been completely infected. Anyway, that is going to do it for part 1 of What If a Zombie Apocalypse Broke Out. I was going to say, what civilizations died over? I really hope you guys enjoy this new series. I feel like I really enjoyed this video. I have so many cool ideas for this series. Right now, I would say that this zombie apocalypse has been going on for 3 years, so yeah. So, I had a lot of fun recording this. I haven't had this much fun recording. I lied. I have had a lot of fun recording the Civilization series and Empire series, but I haven't had this much fun with a new series. I might be bringing some other series back, maybe. Mostly thinking about the State Empire series. That one might come back. I'm not guaranteeing that. Fixing the Borders, I think I want to bring that back, but there's not much left I can do with it. Microstate Empire series, that's in the dirt. That's gone. I'm sorry, that one is so gone. I'm so done with that series. It did terrible. It's not gonna continue. So sorry if you like that series. It's been gone for 2 years. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one, which is probably gonna be another Empire video. It's probably gonna be Indonesia. Bye.